Hello anybody, and thanks for tuning in. This is Monday Morning Handicapping. This video is part 6 of how to read a racing form, and I'd like to go over the race description and conditions. So if you'll follow my cursor, when you get to a race, it's going to look like this at the top. You'll see a big bold number that indicates the race number. So this is race number 5 on the day. Over here, we'll see a bold name. This is the name of the racetrack that we're looking at. So this racetrack is called Golden Gate Fields. It's located in the Bay Area of California. To the right, we'll have the distance that this particular race is being run at. So this is a 1 mile race. It happens to be on turf as noted in parentheses right here. If it's on dirt, I don't believe it is in parentheses, but on turf, they want to emphasize a change of surface. Above that, we'll have the track as well as the date that we're looking at. So this race day is from May 5th of 2024. Back down to this line, this time in parentheses, this is the record at this track, at this distance, on this surface. So there was a horse that ran 1 mile on the turf at Golden Gate Fields in 1 minute and 33 seconds and 2/5 of a second. So 1 minute 33 seconds, 0.4. And that's the record for like the last 10 years or something. I forget how far they go back, but that's currently the record for the distance and surface. To the right, if you look at this little F, that indicates that this race is for fillies and mares, meaning no male horses or colts or geldings are allowed. It's only for fillies and mares. To the right is another bold name. This is the race class. So this is a claiming event, $12,500. So all these horses are eligible to be purchased for $12,500. Whether they're worth that much is for the bettors and the owners to decide. But there's a tag. It's called a tag on each of the horses' head, so they could be purchased from their owners for $12,500. And we will get into class another day. I'll have a whole separate video on class alone. It gets pretty in depth and admittedly complicated, but I will do a quick rundown right now just to kind of explain things. So here's the hierarchy of class levels in horse racing. It begins at the bottom, maiden races. This is for horses that have yet to win their first start. Could be their first race ever, or they may have never won in 20 starts and they're still considered maidens. Above that, you have claiming races, which, as I just mentioned, puts a tag on the horse's head, a price tag, so that they can be purchased from that race. Above that, we have optional allowance, which some of the horses may be in with a claiming tag and some may not. It kind of depends on the conditions. Again, we'll get into some of those conditions in another video. Above that is allowance, where there is no claiming tags. Above that, we have stakes races, and the cream of the crop are considered graded stakes, and those are numbered 1, 2, or 3. Graded stakes, Grade 1 is considered the most prestigious, most talented horses running Grade 1s, 2 a notch below, and Grade 3 a notch below. But again, we'll get into class levels in a different video. So as mentioned, this race is a claiming race for $12,500. N2L means non-winners of 2 lifetimes. So all these horses have only won 1 race, so pretty much broke their maiden, won their maiden race, and now they're going to try for a $12,500 tag. The purse is how much is dispensed to the top 3, sometimes 4 finishers, depending on how many runners and how big the purse is. This fine print is more specific conditions of the race. So again, for fillies and mares, 3 years old and upward. So that means no 2-year-olds are in this race. 2-year-olds do race, but they're not allowed in this race. 3-year-olds, the jockey can weigh 120 pounds. For older horses that are more mature and have more muscle, they have to carry 125 pounds. If claiming price $12,500, but if the trainer or owner wants to be willing to sell their horse for $10,500, they can get a 2-pound weight break. So their jockey can weigh 2 less pounds than that required 120 or 125. And off to the right, we have a diagram of the race that's being run. So this is on the turf course, which is on the inside of this white track, which is the main track. At Golden Gate Fields, it's a synthetic track, but most tracks, it's conventional dirt. This is the starting line, and here's the finish line. The finish line never moves So however far the racetrack wants the race to go, they just move the starting line around and the finish line stays there. So they're going to run all the way around one time and then finish a little past where they started. So that's pretty much race descriptions and conditions. That summarizes it. So before you start handicapping, looking at the horses in each race, take a good read through this information and see which horse is classy enough to be racing against these foes, but also likes to run on the surface, so this being turf, and at the distance. So some horses specialize on dirt, on turf, doing one-turn races, which are called sprints, or two-turn races called routes. So yeah, just take a good look before you start seeing who's in the race, and that should help your handicapping. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.